you ever get that feeling that every skill you learn has a shelf life? It's a real anxiety, right? How do we stay relevant? How do we build a career that actually lasts? Well, today we're going to talk about the one human trait that might just be our ultimate shield in this age of AI. I mean, just think about it for a second. The things we always thought were the bedrock of our careers, our skills, our fancy degrees, even our job titles, they're all starting to feel a little temporary. The world is changing so fast that what got you to this point, well, it's not going to get you to the next one. And that's a tough pill to swallow, but it's where we're at. And that leads us to the biggest question of all. If all the old assets are fading, what's the new currency? In a world that's just constantly in flux, what is the one thing about you that's actually built to last? Okay, so to answer that, we've got to tackle the elephant in the room, the big, looming thing that's making everybody so nervous: artificial intelligence. There's a story we've all heard about AI, and it's time we took a much closer look at it. This is the headline you see everywhere, right? The big fear is that AI is being built for one single purpose: to replace us, to make our jobs totally obsolete. And you know what? That's a powerful and frankly a pretty terrifying story. But what if that story is missing the most important detail?
What if we're all focused on the wrong thing? What if the real risk isn't the technology itself? What if the threat isn't some super smart machine coming for us, but something that's already inside us?
And here it is. This is the reframe that changes everything. The common fear says AI replaces humans, but the truth? It's more like AI replaces the uncurious ones. See, it's not human versus machine. It's about a certain mindset, the one that stops asking questions, getting left behind. In this lack of curiosity, it creates this really dangerous downward spiral. When you stop being curious, you stop testing new things, new tools, new ideas. And if you're not testing, you're not learning. And in a world that's changing every single day, if you're not learning, you are without a doubt falling behind. So if a lack of curiosity is the biggest risk, it makes sense that having it is the solution, right? This is where we find our answer. This is the one asset that never, ever expires. And let's be really clear here. We're not talking about curiosity as just kind of being interested in things. No, we're talking about curiosity as an active, powerful, driving force. It is the absolute engine, the very root of all reinvention, both for you personally and professionally. It's that burning desire to just figure things out. Just run down the list of assets we used to count on. Skills, they expire. Degrees, they lose their shine. Job titles, they fade away on a resume. Heck, even the coolest AI tools we have today will be old news tomorrow. But that deep down drive to ask why, to explore, to learn, that never gets old. This right here is the big idea. If you take one thing away, let it be this. In a world where knowledge is constantly being updated, the most valuable thing you can have isn't a specific fact. It's the engine that helps you find new ones. Curiosity really is the new currency.
Now, the moment you start treating curiosity as your most valuable asset, something really cool happens with your relationship to technology. That big, scary AI monster in the room, well, it starts to look a whole lot different. You stop seeing it as an enemy and start seeing it as a partner.
Because a curious person doesn't look at a new AI tool and ask, is that going to replace me? A curious person asks, whoa, what can I do with that? Curiosity literally transforms AI from a threat into an unbelievable partner for learning and growth. It becomes your tool to learn faster and explore deeper than ever before. So, let's just put this whole fear to bed once and for all. AI isn't the job killer. Apathy is. Stagnation is. That unwillingness to adapt and learn, that's the real danger. A lack of curiosity is what really puts you at risk. All right, let's bring it all home. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought. One question that honestly matters more than any other as we move forward. Because you know what? At the end of the day, this isn't about having all the right answers, because the answers are going to change. It's about having the drive to go find them. The people who are going to win, who are going to thrive no matter how chaotic things get, are the ones who just never stop asking and testing and exploring. They are relentlessly curious. So I'll leave you at this to think about. The tools we use today are going to change. The facts we know is true will become obsolete. The only thing that stays the same is our ability to ask a good question. So, the most important decision you can make right now is, what question will you ask next?